Hold on. Background. All right. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, man? It's your boy Jeremy. We back with another episode of No Huddle with my guy Hassan, man. Of course, I'm gonna let him introduce himself. But we sorry we coming to y'all a little late today. But we wanted to get you guys some content. We know we missed last weekend, so we wanted to give you guys something special today. Hey man, how you doing today?
What's going on, people? What's going on, bro? It's Hassan the African. We giving y'all episode 6 of this No Huddle thing.
Yep.
My apologies for not being there last week. I had to handle some family business, and my lovely co-host had to do his thing. So we gonna make up for it today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course. So we thank y'all for supporting us like y'all been doing, man. Today it's gonna be a great show. I think we got 3 topics for y'all today. So definitely join us live, participate like y'all always do, man. If you're following us on Facebook, YouTube, whatever platform you joining us, man, definitely tune in. Be in the chat with us as we go through these topics. Don't forget, man, go to YouTube right now, subscribe to Fan of Atlanta 365. Definitely catch us live every Saturday with No Huddle. Also catch us live every Friday with Unc and Nephew. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to do anything yesterday, but we will be back on next Friday. But definitely catch us live every Friday and Saturday. We got something cooking up for y'all, man. And you can still catch Fan of Atlanta 365 delivering some videos, just dropping videos at random times. So y'all definitely tune in, stay tuned in, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the comment, hit the comment box and say something. Cause we always gonna say something back. Don't forget, man, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your dog, tell your cat, tell your snake, tell your rat. And throw in your pet snail if you have one, man. Tell everybody about the show. Tell everybody about the channel. Hey, man, it's No Huddle with Jeremy and Hassan, man. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off. We got 3 topics for y'all today. Excuse me if I do a little coughing, trying to get over a cold. So I'm gonna try to limit my talking today. I know that's hard for me, but I'm gonna try to limit that thing. But we're gonna keep it. We're gonna give y'all what y'all came to see, man. So first, we want to get into this first topic, man. Did Tua's Tagovailoa concussion make the NFL concussion protocol look like a joke this past Monday?
Yep.
So or Thursday. Thursday. So what you think, man?
I know the obvious answer is yes, but for me, I would say no. Only because I feel like personally the protocol was already a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a joke that's not funny.
Mm.
Because I mean, on one hand, concussions seemingly have gone down in relative to previous years prior to the protocol. However, this is just a prime example of why the protocol looks like a joke. It's no secret that there's a significant link between, traumatic brain injuries and concussions and long-term effects down the line. So especially with the NFL. That being said, all of these oversights and overhauls should have happened well before Tua became the poster child for why there's a failure.
Yes.
I don't feel like much has changed except the fact that it's now, instead of being in the back of people's minds, it's now in the forefront. But I hate that it took for Tua to go through 2 significant injuries in a 2-week span for this to now be a conversation. We should have. And what back injury?
Right.
What back injury? Like, if you were nervous about your job or you really wanted to prove that Tua is the guy, just say that.
Right.
But all of this performative, well, I don't know Mike McDaniel personally, so I'm going to take him at his word and believe him when he says that, he operated in good faith. However, the medical staff, nah. What's your position, my guy?
So I look at this from two sides.
Mm-hmm.
You got the NFL NFL concussion protocol,
right,
and then you have the Miami Dolphins, right? It's two things going on here. Do I think the NFL protocol concussion protocol is a joke? No, I don't think it's a joke. I think the Miami Dolphins organization, especially the medical staff, has been a joke over the past year to what about 2 years now.
okay,
If we fast forward, I'm sorry, if we rewind, the Miami Dolphins have had a few issues that has been coming about in the past 2 years. First, you had what the owner. I think he said something that was kind of racial
mm-hmm.
a few years ago.
Steve Ross, right?
Steve Ross, and then you come back up with during this offseason, you have Brian Flores, the debacle with Brian Flores being fired, and pretty much, in my opinion, it wasn't something that was expected to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and it shouldn't have happened. But we also learned that there was some behind the scenes. Hey, let's compensate you if you tank the season. We want to tank for we. I think at the time they wanted to tank for Trevor Lawrence, or was it Tua?
It was one or the other, right?
I think they did want to tank for Tua,
Right, they did,
but
yeah.
Brian Flores wanted Justin Herbert instead,
Right,
and he won more games than they wanted him to win.
right,
And next thing you know, they fired him. He didn't want Tua. I mean, he did his best with Tua. I mean, he did pretty good than people expected, but at the same time, they fired him. And of course, he took them to court, and now Brian Flores is kind of looking pretty. But then here's another way to show that the Miami Dolphins organization is a little bit flawed, and I think also they look more into trying to. I think they don't. I think they want to win, but by any means necessary. When you look at the Tua Tagovailoa injury the first night, I think it was Sunday night when they
mm.
played. Dang, who did they play?
Was it the Ravens?
Ravens.
It
They
was the
played the
Ravens.
Ravens,
Mm-hmm.
and they we saw how I think he hit his head a little bit more noticeably in that game than in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw him stumble. Like we saw
Right,
this man literally get up, try to get up and walk to the line of scrimmage, and he stumbled hard to get up. And then when he finally got to his feet, he almost stumbled again, but just so happened two of his teammates was able to keep him upright. And then next thing you know, he had a back injury. Like a back injury is not gonna make you do what we saw this man do on national TV. And I think it was more of try like the Dolphins were about to be 3-0 this week if they could have won this game this past Thursday.
right,
So I think the Dolphins was looking at, hey, we need him to win games instead of caring about his health. And
right,
so I think, like you said, like you alluded to earlier, the medical staff seems like their values and their ethics were compromised. I don't think Mike Daniels. I think he was in all good faith, but at the same time, I think the people around him, the people who make the decisions, the people who are his lobbyists to help him make the best decision, I think that they kind of
Uh-oh. Looks like we're dealing with technical difficulties. My colleague should be back shortly, I think.
Okay, can you hear me?
There we go. Yep,
Okay.
we're good to go.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nah, it's all good.
Internet
It
connection.
be like that sometimes, my guy.
Right. So I think Mike Daniels, due to the people that's around him that's helping him make informed decisions, lied to him, telling him that, oh yes, Tua, he's good to go. He only has a back injury. And also, I think Tua has this thing in his head where he wants to show them that, hey, I can be the franchise quarterback. And at that moment, I think a lot of players would jeopardize their health or their well-being to try to make it where, to ensure that they showing that they're tough. And I
Right,
think I think in that moment, they listened to Tua, but also the doctors kind of probably gave him like a false just evaluation saying, yeah, I think you can play. Can you play? And if you, as a player that wants to prove to everybody that he can, be that guy, I think Tua was like, well, I feel good, I can go out there. So I don't think that the NFL's concussion protocol was flawed. I think that the Miami Dolphins ethics and their care for their players it's flawed. And then when you fast forward, you go to Thursday night football. I mean, Tua should have never been in that game anyway, because he should have still been in concussion protocol, but the concussion protocol was never followed. So we can't, I really don't think we can even say that the NFL's protocol was a joke, because we never got to see it in action with this situation. They never claimed it to be a concussion protocol. I mean, the concussion for the first injury. And then this second injury, we saw this man head hit the ground and his hands did like a exorcist
they
type.
stiffened up.
Yeah, I mean, that's concussion all day. So I think if Tua would have been able to jump up like he did last game and try to do something, I think that they would have tried to say, oh, maybe they would have tried to hide it. But I think because this time you couldn't hide it, this man literally looked like he could have died on the field.
Right.
And I think, and then it was on national TV. All eyes are on you at this moment. Right. At least when they played the Ravens, I think it was a 1:00 game. Everybody's kind of playing at that time, so all eyes are not on you. But this Thursday night game, you're the only game on. Right. Everybody is on watching this game. If you got Prime Video, because I get mad every Thursday because I don't know why they went to Prime Video. I mean, fortunately, I have Prime Video, but why is it not on regular cable TV as well? But like you said, money.
Evil empire strikes again.
Yes, and so I think the NFL, the Miami Dolphins had to call it what it is this time, because all eyes is on them. And they had to show, like, okay, this is like maybe 4 days, 5 days, from the last time he had the concussion that we called a back injury, which I never seen nobody hit their back that hard and then get up and do what he just did. Like, that doesn't make sense unless his back is broke. Right. I don't really see any. I don't really see you reacting like how he did. So for me, I don't think that the NFL concussion protocol is a joke. I think the Miami Dolphins organization, specifically the medical staff, is a joke, and I think that I think the organization is also starting to show a few flaws that they have in that leadership. So for me, it was more of the Miami Dolphins organization than the NFL concussion protocol. The NFL has made tremendous strides in trying to protect players. Trying to make sure that the game is safer than that they, as much as they can make it. We all know football is a violent game, and it is what it is. Injuries come with that, but at the same time, I think the NFL has made tremendous strides in the right direction to help. Yes, is it going to be perfect? No, because right now we still have teams that are able to make sound decisions and try to make things fit for them. But I think the NFL concussion protocol right now, I haven't been able to see what their process is and if it works. Only thing I see right now is the Miami Dolphins. They're abiding by whatever that protocol is. It's not effective. So,
I respect where you're coming from. However, I'm under the mind that there's space for multiple things to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is I agree with you. There's a high level of dysfunction when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. Yes. I mean, this is the same team that had a former lineman who was bullied by players on his own team and coaches like a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I mean, you fast forward and all of the things that happened with the Brian Flores situation, with them being reprimanded for tampering with Sean Payton and Tom Brady a couple seasons ago. All of these things coming out the pike. Yes, so they do have a high level of dysfunction. And you may be right that it extends to their medical staff, because I recently saw that the doctor or the medical professional is fired.
Yes.
Okay, right. However, my thing is, the reason why I can say that I've seen some improvements, because you see they've gone away from 2-a-days in the off season. They've added the supplemental helmet looking things for players that typically have high impact tackles and injuries, head injuries and stuff. So there are improvements being made, but that's not related to the protocol. That's them improving their R&D, the research and development.
Right.
as it pertains to the protocol, the fact that an organization was able to manipulate the protocol. Because, like, for example, the Players Association they recently released a statement in which they said the mere fact that there was an impact in motor function
right
should have been a non-starter, no-go. So
right
the mere fact that he was even able to go back in the game when there is a demonstrative physical impairment, that should have automatically, based on the protocol, knocked him out of the game, had him well in, regardless of what injury it was. It's not like he can only have one injury at a time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like,
not
bad. So his head's fine. No, that does not make sense. And from the eye test, I'm no medical professional. I will give a little bit of gratitude or latitude as it pertains to the head coach and the player. Because you're right. It's their livelihood. Players are used to playing through injuries and showing they're macho and they're tough. So it's very difficult to get a player to admit, hey, I'm too hurt to go back in, especially when it's a player like Tua who is literally fighting for his job. I get the coach. Okay, he's motivated by wins and losses. He's not a medical professional. But the mere fact that all of those things happened, we see this man get visibly injured the week before. And it wasn't just the fact that he got injured. It was the type of injury he sustained and his physical reaction to the injury. That should have been a non-starter. But he's back in the game. That's number one. Number two, then he's in another game where he has a similar injury, and now you can't hide it. You can't make up something on the fly. Man, you can see that his neurological functions from his brain, from his head, were significantly impacted. So all of that being said, he shouldn't have even been out in the game. Hence why, for me, while I do respect what you're saying, Miami Dolphins are like poster child of dysfunction right now. They're like some of those Raiders teams back in the day. Or maybe even a couple of years ago. But that being said, the mere fact that the team was able to manipulate the system allegedly in this way, when all of America sees, hey, this guy was injured and it wasn't just his back. For me, that makes this more of a joke, this protocol. That makes this more of a thing where it's like, hey, wink, wink. Yeah, we care about player safety. Wink, wink. But
we care more about fan excitement, because once Tua went out that game, it's like, oh, now it's their backup quarterback,
Teddy Bridgewater,
and it's like Teddy
nobody
Bridgewater versus Joe Burrow, like that's
not what we came to see,
exactly. And
it
then also I think the Miami Dolphins are looking at, we're in this division with the Buffalo Bills. We could go 3-0. The Bills already lost a game. We could kind of take over this division, even at the expense of Tua Tagovailoa's well-being. We got a better chance to win with him. And I think that's and I think because you got greedy, right? Because you got greedy. Now this may cause you to lose more games than you probably would have lost if you would have just sat Tua out after that Giant during that the Ravens game. So now,
because you could have even had Bridgewater better prepared. Because that's a big ask. Because Bridgewater hasn't really been a starter. I mean, he was a starter last year? Was it? Or maybe
I think he started a couple of games. I want to say he went to
2 years ago
to the Broncos.
With the Broncos, right?
Yes.
So you had
2 years ago.
Right. So that was the last time he was a hardcore starter after having significant leg injury. It's very difficult as a backup of any type to just come in cold and start a game.
And a Thursday night game at that.
Exactly.
It's better to have your player to come in ready, where he's been practicing all week. He knows he's a starter, and he goes out there. But to put him out there after Tua, I think the Dolphins was up in that game. And then that ain't no momentum shift after that.
Exactly.
And so for me, like I said, and I definitely agree with you. That does make the NFL concussion protocol looked more like a joke as well, because like you said, he
Oh,
shouldn't
so I was right.
have been out. He shouldn't have been able to return back in that game against the Ravens. I don't care if you call it a back injury. At the end of the day, we saw how this man responded to that injury. Absolutely. And no man should wobble like the way he did, stumble the way he did. Barely, he couldn't even balance himself.
No, he couldn't.
Should he be able to return back to that game? I don't care if he broke a thumb or a pinky or something, and it caused him to do that. No man should ever come back into a violent game like that. Exactly. And to finish out that game, and then come back a week, well, not even a week later, and pretty much, get hurt even worse, to the point where I didn't even know this man was alive on the field. Like he could have died in the hospital, and then I'm like, come on, man. I definitely would go back on what I said and give that one to you. I'll give that point to you because that was a good point. That was a good point. Yeah, that was a good point. Appreciate
it. Like one of my favorite characters says, "I never tire of being correct."
But yeah, so no, that was definitely a great topic, man. You definitely brought some real insight on that one, man. That was a good one. That was a good one. So, you ready to move to the next one, or you
ready? I'm ready, Chief.
Let's get it. So next we have a good topic. I think this is a good topic. We have had a lot of teams that kind of surprised you, whether they've been losing or whether they've been winning. So it's been a lot of teams that have surprised us this year. Hassan, tell me what team surprised you?
So normally you would think it would be a team that's going on a winning streak that would surprise you. For me, it's actually the opposite. The Raiders being 0-3, that surprised me. Matter of fact, I would actually tie it and say the Raiders and the Chargers, but more so the Raiders. Yeah. Because, again, I understand that division, that AFC West is going to be a beast. And, yes, we're only like 3 or 4 weeks in. However, I did not expect the Raiders to be 0-3 at this point, and especially the way that they're losing. Their offense just looks very disjointed. Defensively, they're not there. They're embarrassing themselves. And supposedly you're supposed to have a hotshot, offensive guru coach.
Right.
It just feels like, is this a little too much for him? Again, I know we're 4 weeks into the season. There's a lot of things that could change. However, it does not look good. And if there's any division where you don't want to be in the doghouse, this is the one. You don't want to be 0-3, 0-4. There's a very real possibility they could be 0-4 going into next week.
Right.
That almost is like a nail in the coffin in this competitive AFC West. Now, the Chargers, I give them a little bit of slack because I don't feel Herbert is 100%.
Yes.
If he were 100%, they probably would be leading.
Yes, they win.
Right. But that being said, they're not 0-3. So I got to go with the team that's 0-3, that they have all of this talent on both sides of the ball. They traded for Devontae Adams, got him. Now he's paired up with his longtime college QB. They're close friends. You went out and got Chandler Jones to pair with Max Crosby. What are we seeing? You have Darren Waller already. You have Hunter Renfrow, who is a solid option. You have Josh Jacobs, who a few years ago was in the running for Rookie of the Year. And what do we have to show for it? You're 0-3? That stinks. Okay. And that surprised me the most. What about you?
Got you. So I definitely like your pick. It's a lot of ways you can go. And before I get to my pick, another chance to gloat about how right I was.
Oh boy.
Another chance to gloat about how right I was.
Oh boy.
I did say that the AFC was going to be the most competitive. I did say that.
You did say that. I'll give you that.
But I also said that I think due to star power, we believe on paper that they look better. But the champion is really going to come out of the NFC because it's a lot of stars, yes. And I also said Devontae Adams would go to the Raiders. Okay. And I know it looked good.
Yeah, you did.
But he will not do what we used to seeing him do, because there's a difference between Aaron Rodgers and David Carr. I did say that, but I digress on that.
Nah, I give you that. I stop telling the truth. You did say that.
I felt like the AFC got a lot of stardom. They look good on paper, but in the NFL, as we all know, it ain't like the NBA. You can have a great starting lineup in the NBA, have the great players, and you can win. In the NFL, we can go back to the Eagles. They had
that dream team Eagles.
And everybody just knew, they the team.
Yeah, they gonna
and I
run
think
the
they
table.
had a losing season. Right. They even made the playoffs. So in the excuse me, in the NFL, you can have the best players at every position. Right. Whether it's offensive line, you can have all the best players in the NFL in each position. And I guarantee you, it's harder to win that way because you in the NFL, you need everybody working together for a certain scheme. Right, sometimes you could be a great player, but sometimes you could be a scheme player. Right. In my opinion, Julio Jones, a prime example, a great player in Atlanta, did great things. Mm-hmm. So far since he went to the Tennessee Titans, who had talent. Everybody was telling me, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown. You saw what he did. Barely put up a touchdown, didn't put up near as many yards. Right. Yes, he was injured, but at the same time, he was injured a lot in Atlanta. Also, now he's in Tampa Bay. You seen him make that one catch, and other than that, he's been the Julio that I told y'all he was gonna be. He's a product of Matt Ryan, but like I said, we not on that topic. What we talking about right now is chaos. Which team surprised me the most thus far? Actually, I'm gonna go with the team that I kind of predicted was gonna be good, and everybody was like, nah, and it's not the Lions. It's actually the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you look at what this team has, the teams that they have beat. First game, they started off with the Washington Commanders. I thought that they should have won that game, but they end up losing that game 28-22.
Close, right? Close.
28-22. The next week, they come in and they smash the Indianapolis Colts. I think they beat them 24-0.
Yeah, it was something wild like that. Yeah.
And you know how I feel about Matty Ice. Y'all know how I feel about Matty Ice.
He made that man look like like a third string QB.
Yeah. Yes, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns given up. Mm-hmm. And then they follow that up and they beat the Chargers. Now, we do know Justin Herbert is not all the way healthy, but he did play that whole game, and the Jacksonville Jaguars dominated that game. So at the end of the day, the Jacksonville Jaguars expect them to be a good team. I didn't expect them to be 2-1. Based on their schedule, based on that lineup, I did not expect them to be 2-1. It's easy to say the Philadelphia Eagles surprised everybody, but to you, I'm pretty sure they didn't surprise you. They surprised me because I needed to see what Justin Herbert was going to be, and so far, he's looking like an MVP. He looked like he could be the MVP, but nobody expected the Eagles to have a bad season because they brought in a lot of talent through the offseason. We knew that they would have a good team. We just didn't know what to expect out of Jalen Hurts. Right. You can also go to maybe the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos surprised a lot of people because we still don't know who are the Denver Broncos. Are they a good team? Are they a bad team? Are they just a team that was overhyped, overrated, or have they just not gained their footing yet? We don't know. But so far they have been a disappointment for a lot of people, especially my guy Ian. I know you probably watching right now. You always talk about them Broncos, and I told you the only thing they winning is a high drop hit. That's the only thing they're gonna win. But at the end of the day, the Denver Broncos have surprised me because they don't look like how I thought they was gonna look. If you remember, I did say Russell Wilson would win the MVP. I thought.
I said he was gonna put up all Madden numbers. Yeah. He making us look sus right now.
Yes, I was wrong on that one, but right now, to me, the Jacksonville Jaguars is that team that just have beat solid teams, and they look like they legit. They look like they legit.
So I'm not gonna lie, they raised an eyebrow. Mm-hmm. I was impressed. And I think what impressed me was how they pitched a shutout to a solid, at least on paper, a solid Indianapolis Colts team. And anytime it's a division game, stakes are higher. But still, pitching a shutout is pitching a shutout.
Right.
However, I'm not sold just yet. But the depending on how things play out this week, if they're somehow able to beat this Eagles team in Philly,
right,
then you're going to convince me that, okay, this might not be a fluke.
Right.
But this because these are the kind of games that better teams win. That's how you start, or at least if they, matter of fact, I'll say this. If they're even able to make it a competitive enough game, because I honestly believe the Eagles can mess around and win by 2 touchdowns. That's just, but if they
Eagles legit
a 1 possession game, you know, 3 points, even a touchdown, and they play well, you might convert me into believing there's something here.
Yeah.
Because I like their offense. I like the way that their team is constructed. Right. And I do like Trevor Lawrence. I do think he's talented enough to have a successful career. We just haven't seen it, and he wasn't done any favors with the Urban Meyer era.
Right.
But again, this is the kind of game we need to see the big boys step up and win. If they win this game, then it's like, all right, you know,
they may be legit.
And now now you got some hair in your chest.
Right. Right.
Because now it's like, oh, this is cute. They're 2-1. Y'all smelling yourselves. But anybody could win 2 straight games. Right. It takes the mark of a team to win 3, 4, 5 games in a row in multiple different ways. So.
Yes. Yeah. Before we move on to the next topic, I almost became an Eagles fan. I almost did.
Ooh, tell us more.
I'm in this fantasy league.
Okay.
And this guy, it was last week. No, the week before last. Tyreek Hill went off.
Yeah,
and the guy had Tyreek Hill on his team. At first, it was a close battle, and then I went to the wing shop to get some wings before the Falcons about to play, and I look at my phone, and in our group chat, he said, "Man, T Hill just went off for me," and I'm thinking like, because he's a New Orleans Saints fan, I'm thinking maybe he's saying Taysom Hill went off,
right.
But I didn't know Tyreek Hill had went off. And I think he ended up going up by like 30-some points. And the only player I had to play that for that Monday night game was Dallas Goedert. So I knew it was over. I was like, it's over. I'm down 30-some points.
Yeah, ain't no way.
Man, have a Lamar Jackson night. I don't know. It's very hard for a tight end to make those kind of yards, especially with the Philadelphia Eagles.
And those points fantasy wise.
I made a bet with my wife. I said, if Dallas Goedert give me these points and I come back and beat this guy, I'll become an Eagles fan. And the Eagles fan know that they'll be getting a good fan because I'm loyal.
Oh yeah,
I'm a loyal hardcore fan.
I give you credit where credit is due.
Right. But my Falcons didn't let me down. So I'm good. I'm gonna rep my Atlanta Falcons. I'm APL down to the day I die, but I almost became a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But Dallas Goedert, he let me down. But the Eagles did win the game.
Yes, they did.
They did win the game, and they looking good this year. I gotta give it to them this year. Jalen Hurts is showing that he's legit.
Man. I'm a fan of him for a multitude of reasons. Like every time he gets counted out, he just he goes and gets it out the mud. Like they cast him out at Bama for Tua. He's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go to Oklahoma. Get his thing there.
Yeah, and that exact game
in the draft.
And that exact game to see him score those 2 touchdowns, the way he scored them.
Seriously,
he showed me he wants it. He wants it this year.
Right.
Him and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson need to get paid, and Jalen Hurts is showing me that he's that guy. Lamar, I gotta give it to Lamar.
I'm about to say, hey, pay me my respect. Look, big
Lamar. Let me
trust is coming.
My respect to Lamar Jackson. He has shown me something this year. He has done the things that I have questioned.
Told you, man.
He has done the things I have questioned. The only thing he haven't done yet is do it in the key moments in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, right?
In the playoffs. That's what I want to see. But so far, he has thrown from the pocket. Yep. Yes, he's running, but he's also throwing the ball. Strategic. He's showing me that he can fit it in tight windows. Right. He's showing me he can he's showing me a lot of things so far. Right. So but like I said, but I did say he's the regular season champ now. He's the regular season champ. What I need to see is I need to see it in the playoffs,
right.
but I will give him his respects because he has shown me something that even in his MVP season he did not show me, and that's the ability to throw it from the pocket and not rely so heavily always on his legs.
Right.
So he has shown me that.
Got some wheels on him too, though.
He definitely got some wheels. He looked like Michael Vick on Madden 2004. When you couldn't stop.
Right, he was a whole cheat code.
He was a whole cheat code out here. But he's looking like that guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, and just one more thing about Hurts, just the mere fact he was kind of a bonus. He was like, oh, he's like the extra fries at the bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they drafted him in the second round, which is kind of high, for a backup.
Mm-hmm.
But he was an afterthought, and he put up really excellent numbers. At Oklahoma. He should have been higher than that.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He was an afterthought, and he just worked and grind and took advantage of opportunities. And now, without question, he's the leader of that team, which is interesting because they have players like Fletcher Cox and Darius Slay and like really high character guys. Right. But without question, that is his team. Right. He's a young quarterback doing that.
And what I love about him, the man is like, how you that strong, bro? Like, you got Fletcher Cox, you got Big Jordan Davis in this locker room, and you talk about you the strongest man in the room?
Bro. Exactly. Not to mention that touchdown run where he dragged like 3 or 4 defenders with him.
Yes.
Them legs were just turning. He's like, nah, y'all gonna give me, look, I got reservation for 6, and I can't be late.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I love that. He put on the show for me. And last thing, you remember when y'all first drafted him? I had some concerns about that because I felt like I didn't question his talent. I felt like he was a deserving starter, and he should have went into a situation where he could actually come in and start. But unfortunately, he, I had a thing at that time, especially at that time, where black quarterbacks, anytime they get a chance to come into a team, it's always like they have to hope that the starter get hurt and then they get their chance to shine. And and for me, I felt like he deserved to have a starting position. Right. And so far he's looking like, hey, I see y'all passed on me, Pittsburgh Steelers. Y'all passed on me, all the other teams at that time that needed a quarterback. And so far Carson Wentz did get hurt. And then he came in and shined, and they traded Carson Wentz, and we seen that was a good decision for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And he beat Carson Wentz. Like, I mean, I know they didn't play head to head, but my God, he beat his team.
Right. So he has shown me something. I ain't gonna
I'm very impressed with this year. I'm gonna stop gushing over him.
But so we're gonna go ahead and get to this last topic before we get there, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody's support, man. If you're in the building right now, definitely shout yourself out. Let us know you're in the building. We appreciate y'all support. Keep supporting this channel, man. Keep supporting this show every Saturday. Like I said, we came on a little late today. That was on me. But normally you can catch us live every Saturday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you watching us at, man. Let us know you're in the building. Don't forget, man, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your dog, tell your cat, tell your snake, tell your rat, and throw in your pet eagle if you have one, because they've been balling right now. So throw in one of them. But so we gonna, and also throw in your little pet falcon, because we what I'm saying, we dirty birds out here too now. We know we're not a team to sleep on. I feel like that first game, we should easily be 2-1. We should easily be 2-1. But I digress on that. This ain't about the Falcons. But come on now.
It's all right.
Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry. I know we got the Cleveland Browns this week. Nick Chubb, you returning back home. But bro, and you the best running back right now in the league. Yeah, you're doing your thing. But man, I'm gonna need you to slow down this game, bro. Let us get a few tackles. Let us win this game.
Yeah, but y'all look. So Nick Chubb is number 1 in rushing. Number 2 is Cordell Patterson. So
no, Saquon number 2.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Saquon.
And then Cordell Patterson.
And Cordell. Yeah, so he's in the top 3.
Yeah,
not bad for
Cordell running. I think last year
a
lot of people thought Cordero was a fluke last year.
Right.
And this year he's showing like,
he ain't new to this. He true to this.
And also, Cordero, his whole career, he's been like considered a running back slash, I'm sorry, wide receiver slash punt returner, kick returner. And he was more of like that. And then the New England Patriots is the first team that showed that he could play a little running back. And then he went to Chicago. They was trash. They was trash. He came to Atlanta and did what he did, but people still felt like, well, he's not really a true running back. This year, he's showing I'm a true running back. I'm not. I'm an athlete. He's not a running back. He's an athlete. He can do whatever you need him to do. And I'm loving the way he's running. I went to that first game when they played New Orleans Saints, and he was running over dudes. He not running for no contact. He's just showing that he's more patient. He's a patient runner. But at the same time, when it's time to put that foot in the ground and burst through that hole, that's what he's doing. And so, Cordell Patterson, he playing on another level this year, man.
Shout out to you, my guy.
I love it. So, let's go ahead and get to this last topic, man. It's one of our favorite topics. It's called the lock pick, surprise pick, and the game of the week picks. We have picked the 2 games, of course. But, hey, man, let's start off with the lock pick. Who is your lock pick?
So, interestingly enough, my lock pick is the Chargers versus the Texans. I know Herbert is banged up, but it's the Texans.
Yeah.
That's all I got. What about you?
Say less. That's all you got to do. Say less.
Yeah.
For me, my lock pick is the Eagles versus the Jaguars. It's going to be a good game, but I think this is the game where the Eagles show, like you said earlier, this is when you show that you're the best team on the field. Like you said, Jacksonville, yes, they have surprised me, but that don't mean that they the better team. I think that they have, did a lot of great things, but I still don't know who the Jacksonville Jaguars are. The Eagles, I know who they are. They are known. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run it down your throat, play tough defense, but at the same time, play action a lot of times with Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts is the fuel that runs this car, and they run off just Jalen Hurts. Right. Jacksonville, we don't know who you are. We don't know. We don't know if you're a running team, passing team, defensive team. We don't know yet. Only thing we do know is that you have surprised us and won a couple of games that we expected you to lose. But the Eagles, it's in Philadelphia. It's hard to go into that Lincoln Financial Stadium and win some games. That's a hard place to play.
That part.
Eagle fans, they show up, they loud. I love y'all fans because I wish the Atlanta fans was like that. But unfortunately, we casual fans. We just like to go to the game as if we at church and only shout if the preacher say something that make us feel good. But other than that, we ain't gonna say too much. Now, I must say that the game I went to with the New Orleans Saints, which was our only home game thus far this year, the fans showed up. I was happy with the fans. I had a headache leaving that game because I was screaming so loud. I was going back and forth with all the New Orleans Saints fans. They beat me up when they won. They beat me up, but I definitely was talking my smack. But at the same time, the Eagles fans are different, bro. Yeah, they are different. They're gonna stay loud the whole game.
You're right.
Yeah, they're gonna stay loud the whole game. I don't know what the weather gonna be, but it could be cold. We don't know. But I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles game. This is a game to show that hey, we that team. And we the best team in the NFC right now. And so right now that's what it is. So I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Are they the only team that's undefeated thus far?
I think there might be one other team. I'm gonna double check real quick.
Yeah. Because I want to say the Dolphins was gonna be undefeated, but they lost.
So after a quick search, let's see. Gotta love technology. Oh, it looks like they might actually.
Yeah, they don't. I think they don't.
Yeah, they're the only undefeated. Yeah.
Wow. So that's my lock pick, man. I got the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm not mad at
it. Over the Jacksonville Jaguars. So fly Eagles fly once again.
I think that. I think it'll be closer than people think, only because Doug Peterson knows that team in and out, and I want to believe that Jacksonville is better than they've been in the past. But I agree with you. That's a great lock pick.
When you say better than the past, you're not talking about the Saxonville Jaguars, right? when they had Jalen
Oh yeah,
Rams.
no.
Okay, you just talk about
Not that team. So in
okay.
between that team and
And now.
this current iteration, yeah.
Okay. I was just making
Oh
sure.
yeah, no. They're not there. They got a long way to go because that team was loaded.
Yeah.
They were a quarterback away from having at least one championship.
Yes.
They were that good.
Yes. Of course.
And their loss is my game because again, as a real true Rams fan, I know I got on Eagle stuff. Jalen Ramsey was a big reason why we won last year. So.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay. Yes, sir. So who you got for the surprise pick?
Surprisingly enough, I know I was ragging on them earlier, but I do believe that the Raiders are going to somehow figure out a way to get it done and beat the Broncos.
That's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a competitive game. You know, division rivalry games always bring out something extra. And I'd like to believe that the character of this Raiders team is not going to let them go 0-4. You know, I mean, this is the same team that had the head coach get fired in a traumatic sort of way. One of their high draft pick wideouts last year is currently in prison, you know, for a hit and run. Well, not hit and run, but a fatal accident. I mean, they had adversity over adversity, and they were still able to win enough games to make it to the playoffs and be competitive. Come on, man.
Right.
This is pretty much the same team. At some point, they got to wake up. I think it's this game. I like them to win this one. What about you? Who's your surprise pick?
So I don't know if this is a surprise or I think it's a surprise pick. I really think it's a surprise pick. But I actually got the New England Patriots going into Lambeau Field, beating the Green Bay Packers.
That was my other option. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, y'all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he could take nothing and make it into something. He did that last week. You know, was able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Packers just aren't really dominating how you would normally imagine them to dominate. I think that they're different, but at the same time, the Patriots are also that team that just has not performed the way a lot of people probably thought that they would perform. Lamar Jackson just ripped them up last week, putting up, I think it was like 400 and something yards total. Like, and normally Bill Belichick is known for taking your best player away from you. And he hasn't been able to do that. Their defense haven't been able to do that. But I actually got them beating the Green Bay Packers this week in a surprising upset. A lot of people probably got Green Bay win that game just because when you have Aaron Rodgers, he just
at Lambeau, right?
Yeah, it's at Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers, he could just make anything into something. But the New England Patriots, I feel like Bill Belichick is gonna use this game to show, like, hey, y'all don't sleep on us now.
Right.
We still here. We still the New England Patriots. I know we haven't shown that, but we still got that New England Patriots, pride. And I think that this week they surprised a lot of people and they beat the Green Bay Packers.
I initially went with that pick. What changed it for me is I don't believe Mac Jones is going to start.
Yeah, no, I think he is hurt. I want to say he is.
Yeah, he's hurt.
He may miss this game.
Right. If he was going to play, that would have been my pick, but that's enough. But again, I agree with you. The Packers aren't giving what they're supposed to give.
Right.
They're not dominating. And I think that combined with there's a whole lot of parity across the board. Because if you look at the standings, there are a bunch of teams that are 1-2, 2-1, 3-1 even. So I'm saying all that to say, like there's a lot. It's harder to be truly a trash team in the NFL right now. Right. Unless you're, the Texans. Sorry.
Yeah. But even the Texans, I think they surprised the coach.
In a lot of games. They've been in. It's not like it's harder to blow out teams. I feel like a blowout now is like winning by 17 points.
Yeah.
Or what have you. So, saying all of that, I wouldn't be surprised, and if the Patriots were somehow able to win this game, even without Mac Jones, just because of how anemic the offense looks. Even with Aaron Rodgers and essentially the same team minus one key subtraction. with Devontae Adams. But yeah, I agree that that's going to be a more competitive game. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Before we keep going, we got shout out to my boy Ray in the building, man. Radiant
Hey,
Media, the In Due Time podcast. So y'all definitely go follow that podcast, man. Ray on that financial literacy, man. So definitely y'all go tune in. But yeah, he said gotta give the Eagles their props. Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
gotta give
Eagles
credit
playing,
where
man.
credit's due.
The Eagles playing, and then he also says CP is a whole problem. Yes, sir.
Yes,
CP is definitely
Bell,
a problem, man.
listen,
To me, he's like a smaller Derrick Henry.
yeah,
6'2",
yeah,
230 some pounds. Maybe not as big as Derrick Henry,
mhm,
of course, but at the
right,
same time, I mean, for him to be that tall and be that big,
hmm
he running over people, man. He's trying to, and he's doing it in his 30s.
right. You know who he reminds me of,
Who?
but with more longevity, he's like a more evolved Percy Harvin to me.
Weren't they teammates? Or was Percy Harvin gone by then? By the time he came to Minnesota?
That's a good question. I had to look that up, but yeah, it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But injuries did Percy Harvin in, but the ability to
Yeah.
impact the game on so many different levels, special
Yes.
teams, running, receiving, like whatever you need offensively, he pretty much can do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but just and again, like you said, to be doing this in his 30s, he's been in the league almost 10 years, if not,
Yes. Yes.
and he hasn't lost any speed or explosion. That's the
Mm-mm.
crazy part.
And
It's
I think the best
impressive.
thing about it, the Falcons got him at the perfect time because
Right. He's
he,
bargain.
although he has been in a league a long time, he's really kind of been like a journeyman where
Yes.
you didn't really put much on his body. And I
Right.
think him playing return man and a
Right.
little bit receiver kind of like helped us keep
Right.
that longevity
Preserve
for
him.
him to be able to perform on this level. So as a running back now, 2 years in, maybe three if you count those New England days, but
Right.
he still wasn't the starting running back. He kind of like
Right.
came in sometimes. If you count those 2.5 years. I mean, for him, I think he'll be able to last maybe another 1 or 2 years playing
Right.
on this level.
Exactly.
Now, am I saying that he could be your bell cow? No, he definitely needs a two back type
Yeah.
system, a
Committee.
running
Absolutely.
back by committee. But
I
at the
agree.
same time, like he's to me, he's the best player on the Atlanta Falcons right now.
Which
outside
is
of
saying a lot.
outside of you got Kyle Pitts, who haven't been able to show that
Right.
he's the best player on the team this year.
Right.
But Drake
Or
London
Drake
has
London.
shown that he may be the offensive rookie of the year. He
Yeah.
may be the way he's been playing, but Cordero Patterson is the best player right now on this
Right.
Atlanta Falcons team,
Right.
specifically the offense.
Right.
But yeah, definitely he's been balling out, bro. Both the Eagles have been balling out because, like I said, I just need to see if Jalen Hurts was that guy, and so far
Mhm.
he looks legit. It's not one of them things where it's like, yeah, the Eagles started off hot, but they may.
But
Nah,
right.
I think the Eagles can
They've been
continue this stride. Like
they've been
they can
flooring this
continue.
since they got in the car, man.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they turned the ignition, they went 0 to 60, man.
And a lot of people forget that Jalen Hurts actually took this team to the playoffs last year, and nobody expected them to be there. And almost won.
Exactly.
I mean, if they didn't have to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
Right.
first round, they
Right.
probably could have made some noise in that
Right.
playoffs last year.
Right.
So
Right. Exactly. He just outperforms expectations every time. It's hard not to root for a guy like that. Seriously. Well, looks like we got some.
okay,
You're back. Yeah.
yeah,
The,
yeah,
the ops is out.
yeah. They don't want us to get the props to the Eagles,
Right. Like.
but it's all right. We gonna keep going. We're gonna keep it going. But yeah, so we're gonna get to our last two games of the week. With these are the ones we actually picked. So first, we'll start off with the what's the Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh yeah.
Who you got, bro?
In big trust, we trust. Ravens, dog. Yeah. I like it. I like what you're doing. I expect it to be a shootout though.
Yes.
Because even though the Ravens defense historically has been excellent, I don't know what's going on with this one, Maybe they left it at home. I don't know. But it's not the same Ravens defense.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the Bills defense star power is all over the place, they look like a juggernaut. I feel like they might have been exposed a little bit by the Dolphins. And because of that, if there's any team that could exploit that, it would be the team that they're about to face.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's the Ravens. I do expect it to be a shootout, probably in the 30s. And it looks like Radiant agrees with me.
Yeah,
Smart.
I mean, we all three agree with each other.
Oh, well.
I got the Ravens in this game. Like you said, the Bills, they had a great game against the Rams.
Yes, they did.
I think they came back the next week. Maybe got a dub again.
Right.
But like you said, that Miami Dolphins loss for them, I think, kind of exposed them. Also, I feel like the Ravens team, it's a lot of speed on this team. You got speed on this team.
Absolutely.
And sometimes speed can overpower power.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Buffalo Bills is more of a powerful team. Like, they like to play physical, and the Ravens can play physical too. But I think Lamar Jackson is going to be the defining. He's going to be the person that tilts it to the Ravens because of the things that he can do. I don't think the Buffalo Bills have seen a team like the Ravens yet on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, they got Von Miller, but what is Von Miller when Lamar Jackson is able to just do whatever he wants to do? Also, this is a statement game for Lamar Jackson. If you can go out here and show that, hey, I can beat the top teams as well.
Pay that man.
He trying to get paid.
That man.
He's trying to get paid. And also, he could be MVP. This could be another MVP statement game. So I think the Baltimore Ravens, due to Lamar Jackson, will win this game. And like I said, Buffalo, I think they kind of been exposed. Although I think it could be a shootout. It could definitely be a shootout. But I think the Ravens offense can outdo the Buffalo Bills defense more so than the Buffalo Bills offense overdoing the Baltimore Ravens defense. So I got the Ravens win this game as well in the shootout. But Lamar Jackson is going to come out and he gonna finally convince me 100% that he's the guy. He's the guy.
Oh boy.
He gonna finally do that for me. So yeah, we
without some slander.
Yeah. He got to get this slander until he proves me wrong. He got to get this slander. But yeah, so that was that game. The next game is the last game that we're gonna discuss today, and we actually got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you got, bro?
Mahomes and company gonna do it, man. Look, I believe this one is one of the games where they might have to relocate it. And I heard that a possible relocation is Minnesota. I don't know where that came from. But if they have to relocate it, it doesn't matter. They can play on a high school field.
Yeah.
The other guy that we have not talked about, and we should be, is Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Looks great. And he's spreading the ball out.
Yep.
The defense is what they're going to be. But again, this Bucs team is a little more compromised.
Yes.
So until they figure out their identity offensively, I think defensively they will stay in the game.
Yeah.
Because I don't expect a blowout on either side because of the Bucs defense. Their defense is scary right now. However, if there's any quarterback that we have not named who could take over a game and has repeatedly shown the ability to, I believe it's Mahomes. So Mahomes, just in the same way that you mentioned the X factor being Lamar Jackson in that game, I believe that the X factor in this game with the current weapons is going to be Patrick Mahomes because he's not pressing this year. He's taking what the defense gives him. He's making excellent decisions. He's spreading the ball out. He's not force feeding one player or one offensive piece. And even though they don't have much of a running game, they have enough to win this game. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs as well. All because I feel like, nope, I'm not going with the Chiefs. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Plot twist.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. The Chiefs defense is atrocious. They're not good.
What else is water is wet.
The Bucs defense, great.
Right.
What's gonna be the key factor in this game? Yes, Mahomes, he gonna throw it around the field, but Tom Brady is getting Mike Evans back, and Mike Evans, he's already mad that he was suspended for that game.
Yeah, that's
and he's
true.
about to go off. Now, do I believe that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are strong on offense? No, they're not. But I feel like inspired Mike Evans coming back this week to prove. And not even to prove, because he ain't proving nothing to nobody. We know who he is.
Right.
I think he's mad that he was out last game.
And
also the Bucs could have won that last game against the Packers.
That is true.
If the center hikes the ball, maybe they have a chance, But at the end of the day, they lost. And I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing it a little bit more inspired. Now, if they lose, I would be happy, because then my Falcons will have a better chance of taking over that division. Because I got the Aints getting upset in London early in the morning, and then the Carolina Panthers, they gonna do Carolina Panthers things. They gonna be Victoria's Secret out there. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I feel like Tampa Bay will win this game only because Mike Evans is coming playing inspired, because he felt like he was wrongfully punished last week. And he's gonna come back with a vengeance. And Tom Brady gonna definitely try to get him the ball as much as possible. So and Tom Brady owe him that. Tom Brady owe him that. You better get every ball, because hey man, you got me fined and suspended because I'm trying to defend you. So what Radiant said. Tom Brady won't lose another one in a row. One more in a row, like 2 in a row. I don't know about that. One. I think Tom Brady has shown that he no longer can sustain that level of play that he have been able to do in the past. I think he's starting to show a lot of teams are understanding his kinks. We starting to realize like he's just not that guy no more. I think also because he's having those issues at home, it has transpired on the field as well. And I don't think the Bucs are as talented as they normally have been. I think this year we're starting to see like, okay, the Buccaneers are now. Are they still a top team on paper? Yes. When you got Tom Brady on your roster, you're always going to believe that you can win. But I don't think that they're as strong as they have been in the past.
So I was almost in full agreement until you said Tom Brady's likely not that guy. He's still the guy. The thing is, he has to have weapons. He has to have, and losing Chris Godwin the way he has over the past some odd games, that's going to impact you. And like you said, Mike Evans was out of this game. I mean, can you name another wideout? I mean, Julio Jones is there. Yeah, but Julio Jones.
Russell Gage, he's not that guy.
Right,
Scotty Miller, not that guy.
Right. These are complementary pieces at best. Julio Jones, and plus Julio Jones is a possession receiver. Technically, Mike Evans is too, but he has faster wheels. Yeah, he runs better routes. At least at this stage in his career, he offers more to their offense than just being a possession wideout.
Right.
He's lost a lot of pieces. I mean, the man can only do but so much. But I do agree. I don't think it's that he's not the man anymore, because he's still slinging that rock. Yeah. I just think that he's not at a position, and I don't think he has been for a while, where he is enough offensively to carry a team on his back.
Right. Right.
He's still going to put up numbers. I still think when the dust settles, he's going to be somewhere in the 5,000 passing yards, 28 to 35 touchdowns, maybe single-digit interceptions. That's probably what's going to happen anyway. But is that enough for them to, win the division? Not maybe not. I mean, because again, each team in that division it's a dogfight. Like there's a lot more parity, as we've mentioned. So I don't know. I agreed with every other point, but I had to push back on the Tom Brady isn't the guy. He's still the guy. Because again, he's not 35. He's still slinging that rock. So until he falls off of like a cliff like Peyton Manning did, you know, or
Ben
Drew Brees did,
Roethlisberger.
or Ben Roethlisberger. He's the guy, man.
He the guy.
But he needs help. So
yeah. I mean, hey, only time will tell. You know, I already predicted
we won't see.
They not making the playoffs, but
that's fair. And that might and that's fair. Sure. You might put up all those numbers, like I said, and still not make the playoffs. I agree.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because that was one of my picks for the Super Bowl. So
you picked Tampa Bay?
I picked Tampa Bay, and I believe I picked
I'm surprised you didn't pick the Rams.
Yeah, I felt like, because again, I think I picked it after. Yeah, it was after that first game.
Okay, so you
we got exposed with the Bills. I was in my feelings.
You were like, yeah,
right.
You picked the Bills to go in the AFC.
I believe it was the Bills. Yeah,
you was
I
in
believe it was the Bills.
You was in the moment.
Yeah, I was prisoner of the moment.
And, I think I picked the Falcons and the Chargers.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I did, and I still stand to that. You know, maybe not the Chargers, more so than the Falcons.
Yeah, I picked the Bills and the Bucks. we'll see what happens.
Well, hey man, it's definitely been a great episode, man. You know, thank y'all for being patient. Thank y'all for being understanding. We sorry we came to y'all a little late. Blame me. But at the same time, we wanted to give you guys a good show. Gave you guys 3 topics. I think some great topics. Gave y'all a lot of insight on that Tua situation. So if y'all wasn't here for the beginning, definitely, man, rewatch this video, man. Like, share, comment, of course, do all those YouTube things. And also, you know, please excuse us for all the technical difficulties. Today I was running everything off my phone, which is different than I normally would. Normally I'm on the computer, but this time I had to do it off the phone, and you know, we had some technical difficulties, but I think we did a great job of pushing through that. You know, but we definitely thank y'all for tuning in, man. Shout out to everybody, Ray, for tuning in. You know, everybody, whoever gonna watch this show, man. I appreciate y'all for joining us. Don't forget, man. Tell everybody, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your dog, tell your cat, tell your snake, tell your rat, and throw in your pet eagle if you have one, man. Hey, it's been another episode of No Huddle with me, Jeramy, and my guy Hassan, man. Sure. So, you know, I'm gonna let him take us out, man. I'm a little sick, so I'm gonna let him take us out.
I appreciate it. Like my lovely co-host said, man, we appreciate the love and support. We done gave y'all half dozen of this NFL heat, and we gonna keep going through the rest of the season. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That is why I'm wearing that's why I'm wearing the pink pin right here, as you can see. That is something near and dear to my heart. Shout out to those who are currently fighting the battle with breast cancer. My mother is a breast cancer survivor. She was diagnosed in her mid-30s. So if there are any women or any folks who have women in their family and they're of that age, there's no such thing as, it's too early. So if you can get tested, have a mammogram, have a regular conversation with your doctor, go over your family history, because you never know how early detection could help save a life, prolong a life. So,
right.
Shout out to those who are currently fighting the battle for breast cancer and those who have won the battle against breast cancer.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. Thank you for bringing it up. I didn't even know that happened with your mom. But you know, shout out to mom, man, for surviving that.
Yeah, surviving that.
Man. And definitely, y'all, man. Y'all go get checked out. Like you said, it's never too early. I never met anybody that suffered with breast cancer that I know of, but definitely I'm going to be more aware of that and definitely try to spread that message as well. And also I got some good news. We are having a new baby coming in March of 2023. We just revealed the gender of the baby last weekend, so we are having another baby boy. I'm gonna be we about to have a pipeline to the NFL, so they about to help my Falcons win a Super Bowl.
Let's go.
So y'all watch out for the Howard boys, man. The Howard boys will be running the NFL one day. It's gonna be a pipeline. So so I'm definitely excited about that. Another baby on the way. But at the same time, man, hey, appreciate you, bro, for just supporting us and being there for us, man. Hey, shout out to Ray, man. He said congrats. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. But so hey, y'all tune in next Saturday. Definitely enjoy football Sunday this weekend. It's gonna be a lot of good games. Also on Monday, it's another doubleheader.
Yep.
Another doubleheader.
Rams and
Tomorrow, the
49ers.
New Orleans Aints and the Minnesota Vikings play early in the morning. They're in London, so yeah, I'm gonna be up 9 o'clock in the morning, probably watching that game as well. I'm rooting for the Miami, for the Minnesota Vikings to pull off another Minnesota miracle. Help me out.
Right.
But I digress on that. But yeah, so definitely enjoy football Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the football games today. I don't know if Georgia did a thing or not. I don't know yet. I'm about to go, tune in. But yeah, so hey, we appreciate y'all for joining us, man.
Sure.
It's been another episode of No Huddle with Jeramy and Hassan, man. We'll see y'all in the next one.